Hey everybody, I'm here today to work on a musical idea that I decided I wanted to take further. I've spoken about this before, but every day I try to do a musical idea and then I wait for a week and don't listen to it. And I keep it in a folder with all the other ones that I do. And I come back to it and I listen and see if I want to take it further. So I have a track today that I decided I wanted to keep working on. So this is just kind of to show you how I move past the idea and actually start creating an arrangement. Again, I still like to stay in this kind of intuitive listening, discovering kind of mindset when I am doing this and not be too rigid about choices and still kind of have an element of play while I'm doing this. So that's what we're going to do with this track. So I'm really terrible at naming stuff, by the way. So you don't know what any of these are because they just say contact. So I do end up naming stuff if I get too many tracks, but I'm not great at that. So I apologize for that. So this, let's see what it is. Choreographs. This is one of my favorite pieces of software by Slate Nash, if you don't already know. So I kind of have this like sequenced pad kind of thing going on. So again, with this, you can modulate things. I'm just, modulating the cutoff here. So I'll just play all of this so you can hear what we're working with. So that's exactly what I like to do is I listen for a little bit. And then what I do is I will solo a lot of these and listen to them by themselves in isolation to kind of get a feel of how I want to begin. So that's kind of how I start is where do I begin with this when I have several tracks already? Where do I start? So let's do that. We already know what this one sounds like, so I'm just going to play in mute. I do like this. There's just the bass there. This feels kind of like an added, this is just kind of a piece of flair, I think, that I had running. Although that could be an intro. Both of these could. So I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pull both of these in to be the intro. So yeah, I don't really start in arrangement mode ever. I use Session View a lot because I find it to be a great sketch pad for doing different loops and setting durations of loops and then playing through them to kind of sketch out an idea before I bring it into arrangement view. So that's what works for me. I know a lot of people may have trouble with this view and prefer arrangement view. That's totally fine, however you like to work. That helps you move through the idea and come up with something that you like and think is working. So you do you. So let's start with this. I don't know why there's so many. Let's add a note there because it's like there's a lot of space. What are we in? C minor pentatonic. Let's see. So I usually play my notes for the most part. I don't usually draw them in, but you know, things can change. I don't know why my mouse keeps doing that. Okay, so we got these two. And then what else did we have? All right, we've got the sequenced bit here. Let me stop all of these, actually make this smaller. Okay, I think I want that one to come in later. So I don't really start messing with sound design and things like that. I'm just trying to place things when I start doing this. So let's start it here. So maybe even now I'll start naming them. This was the other, this was the pad. This is the pad. And this is the other sequence. This is more plucked. And I'll bring that in. I don't know. Again, you can move things around later on. We're just trying to get a basic arrangement here to kind of see how it feels. I do like these two together with the bass. So at this point too, sometimes what I like to do is take a loop that I already got and I'll reverse it. And sometimes I invert it. And I just like to see how it sounds. What does it sound like going the opposite direction? I mean, let's just see. So even quick ideas like that can, you know, bring some interest and newness into the piece with something very simple, just as switching the direction of the notes. So I kind of like that. I do want to add, so now that I'm listening, things start showing up, right? So some sort of sweeping type situation. I know that I say this a lot, but presets are fine. There's no problem with presets. I feel like that's a quick way to kind of come up with an idea. And if you like it, great. If not, then you'll change it later. So it's just to kind of get a feel of what you're trying to do. And then, you can sound design it as you go. Because a lot of the times, at least in my experience, when you start working with material, things show up and you're like, oh no, that sound doesn't work. I want it to be this. And maybe you make your own, or maybe you look for a preset that handles the sound. It doesn't really matter how you do it, as long as it's working for what you're working on. So I think, let's see. Oh, let's try that. I'll dig it. Trippy, and I kind of like it. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to add, let's use some soul that I just demoed not too long ago. Again, I'm going to pick a preset and probably tweak it a little bit. Yeah, let's just tweak it a little bit. Already have some modulation going on here, so I might add some more because I kind of, since the same sounds are running, I kind of want them to change over time. So not necessarily like fade them in and out, but bring in some, effects, bring them out, bring them in. So let's see, I'm going to solo this so we can hear it. Oh, yeah, this is one of my favorite effects, smear. I love it. I use it all the time. Let's see if we... Oh, that's already been used. Let's do this. I don't want a square though. I want a sine wave. I want it to be a little flowy, a little slow. Let's find. Here we go. I don't want that much. Let's see how it sounds with everything else. See, I like that. Let's see what this one is doing. This kind of has like an organ feel. So I already have smear running on this one. Ooh. I'm going to modulate the mix of this. Kind of like that. So I'm going to shorten this a little bit because I think I want more of this pad by itself. So I may actually not, I'm just going to disable it. I'm not going to get rid of it. And because I don't want that to just stop, I think, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to separate. So Command E is going to give me 2 sections here. I'm going to extend this out so that it will kind of like play out a little bit. Let's see how that is working. And then when I'm listening, I'm hearing, I don't know, I always call them pieces of flair. Things that occur in the track that may not ever occur again. Maybe they happened once, kind of like this intro that I have with this sound. And I think I actually, now that I'm listening to it, I'm going to have it go again. I think I'll have it go, yeah, again when this starts. And then it won't go again. That'll be it. Starts. And I'm almost hearing a string pad type situation that could be added after all of this, after this stops. So I think for that, I use Labs a lot. I know that there is an update. I haven't done it because people have been not very happy with it. I think Splice took over, maybe. So this is an older version. As you see, it says update available. I haven't done it yet because yeah, people were talking about it and it, it sounded like there was some issues. So I was like, I'm not going to do that. So anyway, I digress. I use the synth pads a lot. Yeah. These are free, by the way. So there's so many sounds in here that are great. And you can, change them up with effects. I typically like to use my own reverb. So I will usually turn off the reverb on this and use my own. So I'm going to, let's try Soul again. I've been enjoying this plugin. Oh yeah, I was going to start after this. Let's try that again. So I'm going to give my... Using the trusty capture. You don't want to be getting all in the business of recording. Why? Don't need to. I played that pretty good. Not even that much out of sync. So another thing you can do is use like field recordings for textures and stuff. Yeah, I've probably used these in previous videos. These are recorded on my property. So let's try that one. And I'm going to put, let's try Spaced Out and just see what it sounds like. I'm going to solo this. I think what I might do actually is chop this up so that it's not playing constantly. So I'm just using Command E, Control E on a Windows machine to break it up so it's not going consistently. Let's just see how it sounds when I do that. It might work, it might not. So I like some of these, I'm noticing. These first two I like, these two I do not. So that's what's kind of fun, is you can just kind of add some texture and make it like super crazy with the spaced out. Let's see what it does. Funnily enough, I often just use the clean start and don't even use a preset. Surprising, I know. And just play with the parameters. I like how clean start sounds actually without even doing anything most of the time. So I don't often use presets. So I kind of like I may even, if you were lucky enough when they had this for free, I don't know how much it is now, and how do I need to update it too. So this is cool because this has it. So I'm going to keep that in as just a texture type thing to have. And again, it's only happening in this part of the track. So it brings some interest and movement into the track. So we have a beginning of something from an idea that we just, just did one day in like 15 minutes. And then, then you just kind of start putting pieces together and you just listen. I find that listening really helps, not like repeating the loop, but really listening to what you have and how they work together and how they work alone also. Because I find that, working with a little bit rather than a lot is much easier, number one. But also you give space to each sound and you can actually hear what's going on. If you have so many things going on at the same time, I think you miss out on some really cool things that are going on in the track. So I like to start with just a little bit and then build on that and try to have spaces in the track that only have a few things going at a time. So maybe you do like all the 8 sounds that you put in, but they don't need to be running all together. You can give them each their own kind of space to show up and be the star for a little bit. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you with this. Now, obviously, this is not a complete track. It's on its way to be, but I just wanted to give you some ideas that you could work with to kind of move forward with the projects that you're working on if you find that you really don't know where to go next. Again, I'm always talking about exploring and, experimenting with things. You can do that even past the idea stage when you're wanting to build something. Do that too in the same space that you're creating a track. Do that also, because again, you will discover things. Things will show up. And you just keep building. So try it with some ideas that you have lying around, maybe some things that you haven't listened to in a while. And see what you can do with it. And if it doesn't work out, it's okay. You're going to keep making stuff. You're going to keep creating stuff. So think of it as just a learning experience of what you liked and didn't like, or what you want to try, or what you didn't try, and maybe you will next time. So, lots of possibilities. So just keep that element of play in your mind while you work on this stuff. And I guarantee you there's going to be things that show up for you. So I leave you with those words and these sounds. As always, thanks for hanging out. And I'll see you next time.